Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are putting the spotlight on a real workhorse, a piece of gear that's maybe earned its place more through grit than glamour.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't flashy.
Not at all. We're diving deep into the Electro Harmonix LPB2, the linear power booster floor unit. It popped up around, 1978?
Around then, yeah. Late 70s.
And it often gets completely lost in the shadow of its, legendary siblings, like Big Muff or the Memory Man. Those icons.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone knows those.
So our mission here is to dig into the sources, look at the history, and figure out why this, seemingly basic single knob pedal was actually so important. It's kind of an unsung hero, bridging two whole eras of guitar tech.
It really is a fantastic dive because the LPB2, its story is all about practicality. It's not really about circuit innovation in the same way.
Right.
We're looking at how EHX took their very first bit of tech, that original boost circuit.
The foundation.
Yeah, the absolute foundation, and finally made it work for, the reality of playing live. The question isn't just how it sounded, but maybe more importantly, how it survived on stage.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Okay.
And to really get it, we have to go back, way back to the start, to its predecessor.
The LPB1.
Exactly. The year is 1968. EHX drops the LPB1.
Yeah.
And the sources are crystal clear on this. This wasn't just a hit.
No.
It was Electro Harmonix's very first pedal.
Full stop. And you could argue it was the first widely available commercial clean boost pedal ever.
It pretty much was a landmark little thing.
And its success, it basically bankrolled the whole EHX empire that came after, didn't it?
It really did. That's our ground zero. The LPB1 was revolutionary for its time, but, it's kind of fiddly.
How so?
It was this tiny little plug-in box, literally just stuck right into your amp's input jack. Now, picture being a gigging guitarist back then, early 70s.
Yeah.
Your amp's shaking, maybe the stage lighting is iffy, and you've got this little plastic box hanging off your input jack. Oh, man. Sounds like asking for trouble. Like it's just waiting to snap off or get kicked.
Absolutely. A definite weak link. And the whole world of effects was shifting fast through the 70s, right? Moving away from these sort of delicate, almost lab equipment things towards road-ready gear, stuff you could actually stomp on night after night.
Okay, so EHX saw this trend.
They did. By the late 70s, a big part of their strategy was taking those killer core circuits, the muff fuzz sound, the Screaming Bird treble boost, the mole bass boost, and the LPB1 clean boost, and getting them out of those tiny plug-in housings.
And into something more substantial.
Exactly, into those heavy, durable floor units, the wedge boxes.
So the LPB2 coming out around 78, it wasn't really about a new sound, it was about a new package.
That's it. The goal was super simple. Take that same effective boost circuit people loved from the LPB1 and stick it in a box that could actually handle being used live, mid-song, every single night.
Makes total sense.
And that's why we're calling it the bridge between eras. It connects the company's the late 60s plug-in novelty phase directly to those tough professional floor pedals, those iconic wedge boxes that really defined EHX in the mid to late 70s.
Okay.
It really marks the point where EHX started thinking seriously about the working pro musician, not just the hobbyist or the experimenter at home.
Okay, so we've got the history, the why. Let's shift gears now and talk about the what, the actual engineering inside this thing. Because when you look at the LPB2's circuit, it's almost charmingly simple.
It's minimalist brilliance, really. The circuit is, pretty much identical to the original SPB1.
Just a simple single transistor setup.
Yeah. A single transistor linear boost stage. That's the core of it.
Let's pause on that name for a sec. Linear power booster. That word linear. What does it actually mean for a guitarist wanting more volume?
It's crucial. A linear boost aims to raise the volume of your signal across all the frequencies pretty much equally. It's just making everything louder, ideally without messing with your core tone. It's not supposed to add its own distortion or color, just pure, clean gain.
So it's not like an overdrive pedal as we think of them today, with clipping diodes and stuff.
Exactly, no. That's why Power Booster is a good name for it. It's all about leverage. It gives you a ton of output. The sources say around plus 20 decibels of clean boost.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. And the whole point was so you could smack the front end of your tube amp really hard.
Okay.
Hit it with so much signal that the amp itself starts to break up and overdrive naturally. You're using the pedal to push the amp's character, not to add the pedal's own grit.
Okay, right. Here's where it gets really interesting. When you look at how they built this thing, it's clearly a tool, right? Its whole design just screams utility.
Totally.
You get one knob, that's it. The boost knob takes you from unity gain, no boost, all the way up to that hefty plus 20 dB lift.
Simple and effective.
And, crucially, it had a proper foot switch, for bypass and engaging it instantly. That switch alone, that's probably the biggest upgrade over the LPB1 for playing live.
Oh, absolutely massive. Game changer right there.
And the box itself.
Ah, the enclosure. That's iconic for EHX back then. It's that compact wedge shape made of steel.
Right, like the Electric Mistress or the Deluxe Memory Man, same family look.
Exactly the same lineage. Heavy steel, sloped front. It was designed to sit flat, stay put, and take a beating. It was EHX basically saying, go ahead, stomp on this.
Built like a tank.
Yeah.
But the power situation, that definitely plants it firmly in that transitional period, doesn't it?
It really does. Early LPB2s. Strictly 9-volt battery power.
No power jack.
Nope. No AC adapter jack on those initial runs, and that tells you a lot about the typical guitar rig back in '78.
Right. Pedal boards weren't quite the standardized thing they are now.
Not at all. Fancy isolated power supplies. Not common. You were running batteries. Maybe a simple daisy chain if you're adventurous. So the fact that LPB2 just expected you to use a battery, it shows it was still bridging that gap before external power became the absolute standard for pedals.
Okay, so if the circuit's basically the same as the LPB1, why would a player pay more for the LPB2? Was it really worth the extra cash just for the foot switch and the metal box?
For a gigging musician?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Think about it.
Oh.
The old LPB1 plugin, to turn it on or off, you either had to physically bend down mid-song and mess with it,
All right, Gonker.
or maybe use some clunky AB box setup. The LPB2 got rid of all that hassle.
Just stomp.
Just stomp. It was foot switchable, it was way tougher, and critically, it was pedal board friendly. Now you could actually put it in line with your other effects, your big muff, your phaser, whatever. Seamless switching live. That was huge.
That seamlessness, that integration, that really plays into how you'd use the sound too, right? Like keep the boost
Yeah,
low.
low settings. You're just getting a totally clean, transparent volume jump. Perfect for lifting solos above the mix without changing your fundamental tone.
It's louder.
It's louder. But then the moment you start cranking that boost knob, that's when you get that classic 70s tube amp thing. High settings deliver pure signal power, forcing the amp's tubes into that really rich singing overdrive. Adds sustain, thickens things up.
So it's like adding another gain stage to your amp, but controlled by your foot.
Exactly. It thickens the sound using the amp's own character, not necessarily adding the pedal's own specific distortion flavor.
Now, let's zoom out a bit. The LPB2 wasn't the only utility pedal EHX was making in this format, was it? It had some cousins.
That's right. EHX clearly saw a need for different flavors of boost or EQ shaping in these new floor boxes. So the LPB2 was the main one, the sort of universal full-range linear boost.
A standard.
The standard. But then you also had the Screaming Bird.
Which was treble boost.
Yep, same idea, but focused on boosting the high frequencies, gave you that cutting edge. And then there was the Mole, which did the opposite, a big bass boost, aimed more at bass players, obviously.
So the LPB2 was kind of the anchor, the balanced all-purpose volume tool. It could just live on pretty much any board.
Precisely. It was the foundation of that floor-based utility line.
So we have to kind of circle back to its position in the lineup.
Yeah.
The big muff, the Memory Man, they got the glory, the huge sales numbers.
The Rockstar pedals.
Yeah. The LPB2, it did the essential, maybe unglamorous, but critical job. It took the company's very first circuit design and made it a reliable professional tool for the stage. It's like the dependable roadie of the EHX catalog.
That's a great way to put it. And that dependability really defines its legacy, even now. Now, original LPB2 wedge boxes, they are collectible today. They definitely capture a certain late 70s aesthetic.
They look cool.
They do, but they don't quite have that same kind of mythical status as the original tiny LPB1 plugins from '68. They're like holy grails for some collectors.
Right.
But here's a key point, something that sometimes causes confusion. The LPB2 itself, under that name and in that wedge box, it wasn't ever specifically reissued later on.
That's true. If you go buy a new EHX boost today, it's called the LPB1 Nano.
Exactly. When EHX decided to bring that core boost circuit back in the 2000s, they went back to the original name, LPB1, to honor that first pedal.
Makes sense.
But the format they chose for the reissue, that small, tough metal box designed to sit on the floor and be stomped on, that physical concept, that practicality, That lineage traces right back to the LPB2. The Nano is basically the LPB1 circuit living in the LPB2's conceptual house.
So the LPB2 proved the need for the boost to be in a stomp box format.
It absolutely did. It proved that the circuit belonged on the floor under your foot.
That really clears up the evolution nicely. Okay, so looking back over everything across the sources, we could probably boil down the LPB2's importance to maybe 3 main points in EHX history. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. Go for it.
Okay, first, it was the vital stage evolution of the LPB1, taking that historic first EHX design and adapting it for real-world, demanding live performance.
Definitely point one, making it usable.
Second, it served as that crucial bridge between eras, moving EHX from making quirky plug-in gadgets to producing rugged professional floor units that guitarists could build serious rigs around in the 70s.
I think transition point, absolutely key.
And third, maybe its longest-lasting impact was on the whole idea of boost pedals. The LPB2 really helped popularize the boost as a fundamental, always-on-the-board utility. Not just an occasional effect, but a core part of managing your gain and signal, something that's, frankly, indispensable on almost every pro pedal board today.
Couldn't agree more. It normalized the boost as essential gear.
So what does this all mean when we boil it all down?
Well, I think the core insight here is that the LPB2's real genius wasn't about inventing a new sound. It was about engineering for survival and usability.
Right.
It took a proven, important circuit and put it in a package that finally made it practical and durable enough for the demanding environment of a live stage. It cemented that linear boost concept as the standard way to push tube amps under real playing conditions. Practicality won.
And that leaves us with our final provocative thought for you, the listener, to chew on. Even though the name LPB2 isn't on modern pedals, how much of today's entire pedal board culture, this whole ecosystem built on rugged metal boxes designed for stomping, designed for utility, designed for permanent placement, how much of that really owes its existence to that simple, practical decision EHX made back in the late 70s? To take the LPB1 circuit and put it in that sturdy, reliable wedge box. That shift from just an amp accessory to a fixture on the floor, maybe that changed the landscape of guitar effects more than we usually give it credit for.